If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm today to get started. Hello, self-developers, and welcome to the Patrick Kelly Podcast for Self-Development, where I will be reviewing audible books on self-development that can change your life for the better this year and years to come. It is said that if we keep on doing what we always did, we will keep on getting what we always got. In other words, to change our output, we first have to change our input. Today is May 23rd, 2021, and this is episode 19. And today we'll be reviewing the audible book, 8 Ways to Great Peak Performance on the Job and in Your Life by Dr. Doug Hirschhorn. This audible book will teach you psychological principles to help you find your own why and provide you with concrete, no-nonsense tools and exercises to help you achieve your goals. If you don't love what you do, you will not be successful over time. The difference between being a winner and a loser has at least as much, if not more, to do with mental attitude as it does with your particular skills. It is all about core motivation. Core motivation helps you understand your fundamental personality type in order to help define what motivates you and what makes you tick and how you can learn to lead yourself. Principle number 1. Find your why. A person who has a why can deal with any how. If you don't understand your core motivation, you won't know what's driving your engine, which means that you won't know which buttons to push to rev up the power you need to get to the next level. Stop asking yourself, how? The reason most people go through life with big dreams but fail to achieve them is because they keep asking themselves how before they know their why. The question of how does not get a person excited. To achieve true success, you must discover your why. Your why is ultimately going to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. Why will keep you going when you encounter setbacks? Why will push you to continue when others are telling you to quit? Why will keep you energized when your body is begging you to stop? Knowing why will help you to figure out how. Passion is the path to peak performance. Principle number 2, get to know yourself. Getting to know yourself is the only way that you will discover your why. Self-awareness allows you to do more of what you're good at and less of what you're not. Self-awareness creates checks and balances. Gaining a new perspective on your strengths and weaknesses allows you to concentrate on and leverage what you do best. At the same time, you minimize the chances of being held back by your weaknesses. The more you focus on your strengths, the better you will be. Principle number 3, learn to love the process. There are 2 kinds of goals, long-term outcome goals and short-term process goals. To figure out your long-term goals, you need to have a vision for your future. You have to have a vision for yourself before you can determine how you are going to achieve it. Shift the way you think in order to change the way you act. All goals must adhere to the acronym CHAMP, C-H-A-M-P, which stands for controllable, hard, accountable, measurable, and positive. Principle number 4, sharpen your edge. If you don't have a competitive edge, don't compete. 2 sharp edges are better than 1. Gaining a competitive advantage is like having a 2-edged sword. Both edges of the sword must be kept sharp. One edge is internal, meaning that what unique skills you are bringing to the table, The other is external. It comes from gathering knowledge, making it more likely you will succeed. Most successful people keep both edges finely sharpened. Principle number 5, be all that you can be. Judge yourself only in terms of your own abilities. Always strive for your personal best. Don't be limited by comparing yourself to others and aiming only to be as good as or better than the next guy. If you don't want to get better, nothing will motivate you to improve. True motivation comes from within. If you are looking to beat anyone in life, try beating yourself. Try being a better person today than you were yesterday. Excellence is a constantly moving target. There is no time to rest on your laurels. Principle number 6, keep your cool. Keeping cool means not letting your ego and emotions get in the way of making smart decisions. Never allow yourself to become over-emotional in the need to be right, because even if you are right, you can also be wrong. This means that a relationship can be broken with a friend, a relative, a coworker, a spouse, or a next-door neighbor, all because your ego got in the way of trying to be right. It would be better to save the relationship and not be right than to be right and ruin a relationship. Principle number 7, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. The most successful people know that there is never a perfect moment to make a decision, and that they will never have the perfect information they seek. He who hesitates runs the risk of missing out on an opportunity, while someone else seizes the moment to profit from his indecision. If you really want to make a change, you have to be willing to do it right now, not later, and not tomorrow. Without risk, there are no rewards. You miss every shot that you don't take. Any risk you take should be a smart or a calculated risk, and then take action moving forward, knowing that there is never a perfect time to start other than now. While others hesitate, others act. There is an old saying which states, good things come to those who wait. Those who wait can be left with the crumbs from those who hustled and took risk. To be a leader and stay ahead of the pack, you have to get comfortable with uncertainty. If you're not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. Principle number 8, make yourself accountable. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. Words without action is just philosophy. You can set all the goals you want, but if you do nothing to achieve them, nothing is going to change. Commitment, perseverance, and discipline are the characteristics that move people beyond desire to action, that differentiate mediocrity from greatness, and then separate greatness from superstardom. Accountability requires consequences. Start keeping a journal. A journal is a tool for measuring how well you are performing and how much you have progressed toward achieving your goals. The real path to join the ranks of the elite is this: you have to want it bad enough to be willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Closing thoughts. On a scale of 1 to 5, I would give this audible book a solid 5 for providing 8 principles on how to become a peak performer on your job and in your life. To find out more about this audible book, go to www.audible.com and download this audible book, or go to www.drdoug.com. Please share this episode with someone that you care about, and if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. For more episodes of the Patrick Kelly Podcast for Self-Development, go to www.thepatrickkellypodcast.com. This is the end of this podcast for today. Tune in next week Sunday for the next episode and the next audible book of over 300 books that I'll be reviewing on the Patrick Kelly Podcast for Self-Development. If you enjoyed this podcast, take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts. This really helps me out. Feel free to share this podcast with someone you care about. And remember, your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. Take care.